1,000 years ago, in a world ruled by emperors and caliphs, one man dared to question what everyone believed. While others spoke of light as mystery, he trapped it, measured it, bent it, and revealed its secrets. He feigned madness to escape death, and in the darkness of his cell, he illuminated the path of science. This is the story of Ibn Al-Haytham, the forgotten genius who saw light where others saw shadows. Light in the shadows, Ibn Al-Haytham. The challenge of the Nile. In the city of Basra, a young boy watches the sunlight reflect on the calm waters of the Tigris. His name is Ibn Al-Haytham. Even then, he questions what he sees, curious to understand how light moves through the world. Born into a devout Muslim family, he grows up in a culture where science and faith do not oppose each other, but illuminate one another. For him, seeking truth in nature is a way to get closer to the Creator. Years later, now a renowned scholar, he is known throughout the Muslim world for his knowledge in mathematics and physics. A message from Egypt disrupts his peaceful life. Caliph Al-Hakim, ruler of Cairo, asks him to regulate the flooding of the Nile. Flattered but anxious, he accepts. Upon arriving in Cairo, Ibn Al-Haytham is received with grandeur, but quickly realizes that the mission is colossal. He inspects ancient dams and studies the river, but soon understands that controlling the Nile's fury is impossible. Fearing the caliph's wrath, he feigns madness. Al-Hakim orders him to be confined in his own house under surveillance, the prison of knowledge. Behind the walls of his house, Ibn Al-Haytham turns confinement into opportunity. He transforms his cell into a true laboratory. Candles, glass, mirrors. He begins to explore the behavior of light. He drills a small hole in the wall and observes the inverted image of the outside world projected on the opposite wall. The camera Obscura takes shape. Fascinated, he begins to understand that light travels in straight lines. His days are structured around observation, experimentation, and writing. His treatise on optics begins to take form, illuminated by a simple candle, The Secrets of Vision. Ibn Al-Haytham continues his research with great rigor. He observes that the eye receives light rather than emitting it, contrary to what the Greeks believed. He analyzes refraction, lenses, and the laws of reflection. Each night he records his conclusions in manuscripts. He rejects the blind authority of the ancients. Only experiment matters. In his solitude, a curious young man, the son of a merchant, knocks at his door. In secret, he becomes his student. Together, they replicate experiments and pass on the foundations of the scientific method. Political shadows. At the palace, Al-Hakim becomes increasingly unstable. Some begin to suspect that Ibn Al-Haytham is pretending to be mad. An investigation is launched. The scholar hides his manuscripts in a cavity in the wall. But a kind vizier, secretly an admirer of his work, intervenes and has the investigation suspended. Shortly after, the caliph mysteriously disappears. The surveillance is lifted. Ibn Al-Haytham is finally free, though marked by his experience. He leaves Cairo for Baghdad, carrying his manuscripts and knowledge. Legacy. In Baghdad, he completes the writing of his major work, the Kitab al-Manazir, Book of Optics. In it, he presents his theories, experiments, and methodology. His students copy and disseminate the texts. Centuries later, in Andalusia, European scholars translate his work. His influence reaches as far as Kepler, Descartes, and Newton. Today, his discoveries still have practical applications. The principles of the camera Obscura form the basis for modern cameras and photography. His studies of lenses and vision contributed to the development of glasses, microscopes, and telescopes. His scientific method, grounded in experimentation, foreshadows that of modern science, from laboratories to space exploration. The final scene shows a young monk in a library in Toledo, reading Opticae Thesaurus, Alhazen Arabis Libri Septem. In the shadows, Ibn Al-Haytham still watches, a light in the darkness of ignorance.